Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here on behalf of the S3, my three colleagues, Equatorial Guinea, a big brother from South Africa, and our boss from African Union, representative of African Union. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that not so long ago, we stood here in front of you to deliver through our distinguished colleague from South Africa a message on regarding the situation in Sudan. This time around, we are coming with more optimistic news because the situation has evolved as we all were praying for. So this is a message I'm going to deliver on behalf of South Africa, Equatorial Guinea, Côte d'Ivoire, and the African Union. The permanent representatives of African members of the Security Council, also known as A3, and the permanent representative of the African Union Observer Mission to the United Nations, are pleased to address the press following recent developments in the Sudan. We would like to recall the decisions and communiques of the AU Peace and Security Council on development in the Sudan, in particular the communique following the Peace and Security Council 875 meeting on September the 5th, 2019 in Addis Ababa. In its communique, the AUPSC welcomed the effort of all Sudanese parties that led to the appointment of a Prime Minister, Mr. Abdallah Hamdok, as well as the formation of a civilian-led transitional government on September 5th, 2019. The AUPSC expressed the wish that the new government works to promote the aspirations of the Sudanese people for democratic transformation and socio-economic development of the country. Taking into account these positive developments, and based on Article 7 of the Protocol of establishing it and Article 27 of the African Charter on Democracy of Elections and Good Governance, the Peace and Security Council decided to lift the sanctions taken against Sudan on June 6, 2019, in accordance with the Lomé Declaration on unconstitutional changes of government. As a consequence, the S3 and the permanent representative of African Union Observer Mission would like to follow suit with the Peace and Security Council of the African Union in urging all states concerned to lift all sanctions against Sudan, including withdrawing it from the list of countries supporting terrorism. We urge the new government of Sudan to observe and implement faithfully the provisions of the roadmap as agreed and ultimately hold free, fair, and transparent parliamentary and presidential election in order to create the conditions for a peaceful transition that will ensure lasting peace and stability in the Sudan. We are convinced that peace building in Sudan is dependent on economic and social development in line with its national priorities, and we therefore urge the international community, including development partners, to support the new Sudanese government in creating an enabling environment for a peaceful transition, as well as the implementation of its ambitious program of economic and social development. While reiterating our commitment to the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Sudan, as well as the principle of African solutions for African problems, we commend the AU Commission's mediations and good office's efforts in collaboration with IGAD and express our full support for their continuing support to the government and the people of the Sudan. Thank you.
If I could ask a question, Sherman Briceby, South African Broadcasting. Ambassador, was an attempt to get the Council, the entire Council, to coalesce around this statement? Did it fall apart? Why is it just the African members that have come out to make this statement here? And in terms of the countries you are appealing to lift the sanctions, are they countries or is it a country that you're talking about?
Anyway, I started by recalling that we A3 came here to make a statement not so long ago. So it's normal that we come back and take the floor again and let you know how happy and proud we are of our Sudanese brothers. I think we can bilaterally or in any other instances work to awake the attention of all other countries, all stakeholders.
And in terms of the United States, I mean, the United States is the main protagonist here in terms of sanctions against Sudan.
Yes, I think the United States is going to follow suit because the sanctions were international sanctions. I mean, collectively we took the sanctions, even though I'm talking about AU. But we are optimistic that United States will do something in line with what we're just saying.
I think I'm sorry.
Will the Prime Minister of Sudan be joining us during UNGA? And I know he just appointed the first female foreign minister in Sudan. Is she going to be? How does he plan on using or helping her to promote women empowerment in Sudan, especially as far as trying to boost the economy?
I don't know if there is a venue to discuss about all those matters. We just came to make this statement, and the other matters could be discussed in other instances. And thank you very much for your question. We appreciate it.
I do know, Ambassador, maybe Ambassador Machila can speak to this, that you have been to D.C., to Washington, as an A3 in recent times. Was this part of the discussion? Are you confirming that the United States is going to lift sanctions based on your discussions?
Well, first, in terms of the appointment of Prime Minister, the A3 is here to welcome the developments that now we have a civilian-led government in Sudan. And more positive is the appointment of the woman foreign minister in line with the AU gender parity proposals. So it's a positive development. Of course, Prime Minister will be coming to UNGA for engagement. The A3 went back for the second time to DC last week by political coordinators. And the reason was further to engage on the support for AU-led peacekeeping operations. So it's ongoing engagement with them. It was not to do with the sanctions issue. It was more to continue our dialogue and make sure that USA, like all other 14 members of the Security Council, can support the proposal of the A3 and African Union for, in principle, financing of the AU peace initiatives. That dialogue is going on. The statement, as Ambassador was saying, from Côte d'Ivoire, was not discussed with the Council. It's an initiative of the A3 and Observer Mission of African Union, like we did initiative before that we took initiative as Africans to say, these are the positive development in our continent. We were here to back the AU PSC decision, and once more, we're here to deliver positive news again by AU PSC to show this very strategic linkages and coordination between New York-based ambassadors and AU-based ambassadors to strengthen the cooperation between the AU PSC and the ambassadors based in New York who are in the Security Council. It's an ongoing effort from our part, backstopped by our colleague, Ambassador Fatima Mohammed, the AU Observer Mission Permanent Representative in New York. So thanks very much. Thanks.